You know how it goes by now. It's also one. One novel by this author ends as the words, "We shall never be again as we were," are spoken by Kate Croy, who had encouraged her lover Mervyn Densher to secure an inheritance by courting the dying heiress Millie Thiel. This author of The Wings of the Dove also wrote a novel in which an American resident of Italy named Gilbert Osmond weds the wealthy Isabel Archer for 10 points. Name this author of The Portrait of a Lady. Yes. Bonus. Colligative properties are chemical properties that depend on the number of solute particles present and not on the nature of those particles. For 10 points each, A, one such colligative property is the elevation of this point, which for water at sea level is 100 degrees Celsius. Correct. B, the formula for boiling point elevation uses this quantity equal to the numbers of moles of solute in a solution divided by the kilograms of solvent. Correct. C, the formula for boiling point elevation includes a term symbolized I that is named after this chemist.
Oil?
Over here? Correct. All right. Also 2. The city is home to Jean Nouvel's Torre Akbar building, or Torre Akbar building, sorry. A giant goldfish sculpture on this city's beachfront was designed by Frank Gehry for its 1992 Summer Olympics. Europe's largest soccer stadium, Camp Nou, is in the city. The wavy facade of this city's Casa Mila sorry. I'm sorry? Correct. And power. All right. Bonus. Dozens of people were injured following the March 2016 derailment of one of this company's trains in Kansas. For 10 points each, A, name this U.S. passenger rail service company. Correct. B, as Amtrak is partly funded by the federal government, its board of directors includes Anthony Fox, the holder of this cabinet position.
Secretary of Transportation.
Correct. C, in May 2015, 8 people died when an Amtrak train derailed in this city after leaving its 30th Street station in January 2016. Jim Kenney succeeded Michael Nutter as its mayor.
Seattle.
Over here?
Philadelphia.
Correct. All right, toss up 3. In April 2016, this man's company was sued after he announced a plan to maintain voting control with 4% of its stock. In 2010, he donated $100 million to Newark's public schools. He and his wife, Priscilla John, have pledged to donate 99% of their wealth to charity. This man collaborated with Eduardo Sovereign. Correct. And was sued by the Winklevoss twins. What a terrible name. Bonus 3. YouTube personalities have some unusual names for their followers. For 10 points each, A, nerd fighters are fans of 2 YouTube bloggers. With this family relation, this is the family relation of Chris and Liam Hemsworth. Correct. B, Philip DeFranco, which runs the current events YouTube channel SXE Phil, refers to his fans by this word. On the Colbert Report, Stephen Colbert often reviewed to his viewers by this word. Sorry.
People's
Where?
audience.
No, nation. C, the first UK YouTube channel to reach 1 million subscribers belongs to this filmmaker from Bath, whose fans are jokingly called cool likers. His channel's outro is voiced by Stephen Fry.
Sean Scott.
Sorry.
Smith.
Sorry. That is Charlie McDonald. Whoever he may be. Toss-up 4. Members of this class of animals may have keeled integumentary structures that are made of keratin. This class includes tuatara, which are only
Reptiles.
power. Bonus 4. For 10 points each, answer the following about books for young people that feature Native Americans. A doll of a Native American is brought to life using the title magical object in this novel by Lynn Reed Banks. Correct. B. Arnold Spirit Jr. narrates his life in the absolutely true diary of a part-time Indian, a novel by this Native American author of Reservation Blues. Yes. C. Sherman Alexie also used a reservation as a setting for a collection whose title claims this character and his companion Tonto fist fight in heaven.
Lone Ranger.
Boom. And there we go on the bonus. Toss-up 5. The city center contains the castle of Rosenborg, the royal residence of Amalienborg, and the Parliament building of the Christiansborg Palace. This world's 2 oldest amusement parks are both in the city, which is connected to the foreign city of Malmo by the Öresund. Yes. And power. Bonus 5. This ruler became the heir of Stephen of Blois, and after signing the Treaty of Wallingford, for 10 points each. A. Named the son of Empress Matilda, he was criticized for his role in the murder of Thomas Becket. Answer? Over here. That is Henry II of England. B. Henry's marriage to this Duchess from Aquitaine produced future kings Richard Lionhearted and John Lackland. Over here. Sorry. Eleanor of Aquitaine. C. Henry II's father had this first name. This was also the name of Henry and Eleanor's son, who became Duke of Brittany. Over here.
John.
No, that is Geoffrey. Or Geoffrey of Anjou. No points on the bonus. Toss-up 6. The anthropologist Arnold van Gennep coined this phrase to describe events that are divided into separation, liminality, and incorporation stages. These events often include a physical change, such as shaving one's head to join the military. Quinceañeras, bar mitzvahs, and confirmations are examples of... And confirmations are examples of these transitions between life phases. For 10 points, what term may describe moving from childhood to adulthood? Correct. Bonus. For 10 points each, answer the following about lists of mathematical problems. A. In 1900, this German mathematician compiled a list of 23 problems that he suggested mathematicians focus on in the 20th century. Correct. B. In 2000, the Clay Mathematics Institute established a set of 7 problems offering a $1 million award for the first valid solution to each one. Yes. C. The only problem in both collections is the hypothesis named for this mathematician, which concerns the zeros of the zeta function. This mathematician is also the namesake of sums of rectangles used to define integrals.
Riemann.
Correct. All right. Toss-up 7. The second movement of this composer's only string quartet in F major begins with all 4 strings playing pizzicato. He depicted a dialogue between Beauty and the Beast in his Mother Goose suite. This composer of a pavane for a dead princess. Correct. Now. All right, 4 10 points each. Answer the following about enclaves and exclaves in Asia. A. In 2015, the deal to swap over 160 enclaves was reached when India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited this country's capital of Dhaka. Correct. B. This country's exclave of Musandam gives it control of the southern shore of the Strait of Hormuz. It is separated from the rest of this country by the United Arab Emirates. Correct. C. The Akwasi district is an exclave controlled by this predominantly Catholic country, which gained independence from Indonesia in 2002.
Yeah, East Timor.
Correct. Toss-up 8, after which we will have a score check. This country's left-wing October 22 group and Frontline were active during its years of lead, which also during which a former prime minister of this country was killed after 55 days in captivity with. Yes. And that is also power. Is that the second Italy question then? I think it is. Bonus 8. For 10 points each, answer the following about the presidency of James K. Polk. A. Polk signed this tariff in 1846. This bill, which was named for Polk's Secretary of the Treasury, stimulated trade by lowering import duties. Answer? Over here. That is the Walker tariff. B. Polk's campaign slogan, 5440 or fight, referred to a border dispute over this territory in the Pacific Northwest, which became a state in 1859.
Oregon.
Correct. C. Near the end of his administration, Polk signed a bill creating this new cabinet department. In the 20th century, this department began administering the National Park Service.
Yeah, Department of the Interior.
Correct. All right. So at the end of the half, I have 285.
I agree.
Yes.
Excellent. All right, beginning the second half, and then we can all go to lunch. Those are 9. Apache tears are. Sorry. Apache tears are pebbles of this kind of rock whose textures may be phaneritic or aphantic. This type of rock can be classified as felsic or mafic based on silica content. Gabbro and diorite are among the rocks of this type termed intrusive because they crystallize below Earth's surface. Basalt and obsidian are rocks of this type. For 10 points, name this type of rock formed by the cooling of lava. Correct. Bonus. A theoretical heat engine using the cycle as the most efficient engine possible for 10 points each. A. Identify this thermodynamic cycle named for a 19th century French physicist. Bingo. B. The Carnot cycle consists of 2 isothermal steps and 2 of these kinds of steps in which no heat is transferred.
Deferred.
Correct. C. The Carnot cycle is the most efficient cycle between 2 temperatures because each step possesses this property, meaning that by infinitesimal changes, the system can be brought back to its initial state.
school.
Correct. 30 points on the bonus. Toss up 10. At the end of its first stanza, this poem depicts a place where coral reefs lie bare, and the cold sea makes rise to sun and streaming air. The speaker of this poem gives thanks for the heavenly message brought by the tidal objects, which instructs his soul to leave its low vaulted past and build itself more stately mansions. For 10 points, name this poem about Ship of Pearl written by Oliver Wendell Holmes. I'm sorry? Sorry? Sorry. That is Chamber Nautilus. Toss up 11. The final ruling house of this empire, the Sargonids, was defeated by a joint Median and Babylonian force who seized its capital, Haran, in 609 BC. During that neo-period of this empire, its rulers included Tiglath-Pileser III and Ashurbanipal. Yes. Bonus. Once upon a time, harems were common settings for operas. For 10 points each. A. This Singspiel features Constanza welcoming torture in Mautern a la Alten before leaving a Turkish harem with her boyfriend Belmonte. Here. Answer?
No.
Over here. Sorry. The abduction from the Seraglio. B. This composer of the Magic Flute and Don Giovanni wrote the abduction from the Seraglio.
Mozart.
Correct. C. Mustafa tries to make Isabella part of his harem in this Italian composer's opera, The Italian Girl at Algiers.
Monteverdi.
Over here. Sorry, that is Rossini. Toss up 12. Spaniard Miguel Indurain won this sporting event each year from 1991 to 1995. This week-long competition, which is held after the Giro d'Italia, awards the winner of its mountains classifications a polka dot jersey. Nobody officially won this competition between 1999 and 2005 because a doping scandal stripped Lance Armstrong. Correct. Bonus. Several related biology terms end with the suffix OME, or ohm, for 10 points each. A. This ohm refers to the entire set of chromosomes in an organism. The attempt to map the human one was declared complete in 2003.
Genome.
Correct. B. This ohm, sometimes called a forgotten organ, consists of the trillions of bacteria that live on and in us. Answer?
Bacterium.
Over here.
No.
No, that is the microbiome. C. This ohm is the cap-like structure found at the head of sperm cells. Answer? Over here.
Spermatosome.
Say that again?
Spermatosome.
Sorry. That is the acrosome. Toss up 13. The energy of these entities is plotted against relative atomic positions in a Walsh diagram. Light energy can advance a particle from the highest occupied of these entities to the lower. Correct. Power. Bonus 13. For 10 points each, name these artifacts housed in London's British Museum. A. This stone, which features inscriptions in hieroglyphs, Demotic script, and ancient Greek, is at the museum.
The Rosetta Stone. Correct.
B. Since the early 1800s, the museum has exhibited these marbles which were removed from the Acropolis by a Scottish aristocrat?
Elgin.
Correct. C. The museum also contains artifacts from a ship burial uncovered in 1938 at the site in East Anglia. King Redwall may be buried here. Answer? Over here. Sorry, that is Sutton Hoo. Toss up 14. In this place, second act, a picnic is interrupted by a homeless man after the sound of a breaking string is heard. A mother in this play is haunted by the death of her son Grisha, who had been tutored by the eternal student Peter Trofimov. The servant Fierce is abandoned in this play as Madame Ranovskaya leaves her former estate. Sorry? Correct. Bonus. One poem by this author describes New England as a place where the wind is always north-northeast. For 10 points each A, name this poet, a number of whose works are set in a fictional location known as Tilbury Town. Over here? Sorry? That was going to be E.A. Robinson. B. The protagonist of this poem by Robinson scorned the gold he saw, though he was sore annoyed without it. This man also wept that he was ever born.
Defer.
Correct. C. At the end of this other Robinson poem, the title character went home and put a bullet through his head.
Richard Cory.
Correct. All right. The penultimate toss-up. 15. A 1995 book by anthropologist Marshall Solins used this man as an example of how natives think. Oh, sorry. Was anybody going to buzz in on that? Okay. Used this man as an example of how natives think, arguing that he was in fact mistaken for the god Lono. This man commanded HMS Resolution on his third and final voyage, during which he sailed to Alaska in search of the Northwest Passage and was killed in Hawaii. 18th century exploration of the Pacific was led by, for 10 points, one Royal Navy captain. Correct. Bonus. Dearest Square in this country's capital is sometimes known as Chop Chop Square due to its use for public beheadings. A. Name this country in which executions have increased since King Solomon rose to power in 2015.
Saudi Arabia.
Yes. B. Though he fiercely rejects the term, Salman and Saudi Arabia at large have been identified with this highly fundamentalist branch of Sunni Islam named for an 18th century cleric. It is often equated with Salafism.
Wahhabi.
Yes. Yes, I can take that. C. Other human rights concerns in Saudi Arabia include the fact that it remains the only country to ban this class of people from driving.
Women.
Correct. All right. And final toll set before lunch. Woo! In 1989, the FBI raided the state's Rocky Flats plant for contaminating the surrounding area with nuclear waste. It's not Wyoming, but the state's underground Cheyenne mountain company.
Colorado.
Correct. And power. Bonus. Pencil and paper ready. For 10 points each, answer these questions about mathematical sets. A. How many elements are in the union of the set of even prime numbers and the set of real numbers that are neither positive nor negative?
Two.
Correct. Set intersection, which includes only elements that are present in all the sets being intersected, is equivalent to what Boolean operator? C, how many elements are in the set of all one-digit positive integers?
Nine.
Correct. All right, so at the end of the round, I have 430 to 85. Is that correct?
Yep.
Awesome. Captains, if you can come and sign the score sheet, we can get out of here.